So it's a bit of a mystery.
Oh, you don't know the answer?
No.
Oh, for God's sake.
No, but Carole, listen.
It's like one of those podcasts where it's like, let's find out what happened to this 20-year-old murder. And it turns out, oh, well, we don't know. Turns out we're still looking. Thanks for listening.
Smashing Security, episode 313. Tesla twins and deepfake dramas, with Carole Theriault and Graham Cluley.
Hello, and welcome to Smashing Security, episode 313. My name is Graham Cluley.
And I'm Gray.
You're who?
Say I'm Graham Cluley.
What?
I was just having a brain fart while you were talking, and then I started speaking. And I'm Carole Theriault.
Identity theft. Hello, Carole.
Hi.
Are you all right?
I don't know. You know, today I ironed, 60 new artworks because I hate doing it so much. I know it's a weird thing, but when you do watercolor, the page gets all warped and then you can iron them afterwards to get them all flat. But I never do it after each painting. I just let them mount up. Anyway.
Isn't there a danger in ironing artwork? Or either you could scorch it or maybe the ink would go all dribbly?
Yeah, well, that's why I do it. No one else, right?
All right. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. So there you go. That's me. How about you?
All right.
Because we have no one here today.
No one. Oh, yes. No guests today. Just you and me, Carole. Just you and me.
It's because I think it's 313, like bad luck show.
Oh, yes. Anything could happen in the next 45 minutes.
I know, but thank God for this week's sponsors, Bitwarden, Collide, and Drata. It's their support that help us give you this show for free. Now, coming up on today's show, Graham, what do you got?
I'm going to be talking to you about some trouble with Teslas.
Okay, and I am diving into deepfakes, the good, the bad, and then the good again. All this and much more coming up on this episode of Smashing Security.
Now, chum, Carole, have you ever found yourself somewhere that you shouldn't be? Think about it. Have you ever opened the wrong door and gone in, crossed into the wrong country?
I once went into the loo from the airport, right? Talking on the phone, going, honey, I've landed. I'm just going to go have a pee and it's going to be great. And I'm talking to him and I get in the loo and I sit down and everything. Say, okay, I'll talk to you soon, honey. And I hear someone at the urinal. And,
it's a men's loo.
Yep.
Oh, dear.
So, that kind of thing's happened.
Yeah. Yeah. These things can happen, can't they?
They can happen.
It's embarrassing. At least you didn't sit on the conveyor belt thinking you were on the loo or something like that. It's embarrassing. It's awkward. Well, it's the sort of thing which happens to me all the time, I have to say, is I make a little blunder, especially as I become a little bit more elderly, maybe a little bit less, maybe I'm concentrating a little less. Maybe it's because I'm concentrating so much on breathing, existing, walking, that I can't also make coherent decisions about my life. Well, let me tell you a story about someone who perhaps was a little absent-minded as well.
I was just going to agree with that statement, but you hurried along so fast.
I'm going to take you to the eastern coast of Canada to a place called Vancouver.
Beautiful, beautiful province. Or, are you talking Vancouver, the city? Sorry.
Vancouver City, I think.
Yes, Vancouver, the city.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I like to include some Canadian content just to maintain your interest during my part of the story.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
In Vancouver, there is a gentleman called Rajesh Randev.
Okay.
And he is an immigration consultant. And earlier this month...
I don't know what they do. Am I supposed to know what they do?
Well, he's helping people with their immigration.
Oh, okay. Right.
So he's an expert in that, assists people, does paperwork, I would think.
There is a lot of paperwork.
An important job. Mm-hmm. And one particular Tuesday afternoon, he was in a rush because he had to go pick up the kids from school. So he's working away, he's in his office, and he dashes out of his office onto the street and he leaps into his car, puts his foot down, or it's actually an electric vehicle. You know, they make some sort of spaceship type hovering noise, don't they? Rather than that. And there he is, take my word for it, there he is, driving along for a few miles. Everything's going fine and dandy, you know, he's happy as a bumblebee. And, but hang on a minute, what? He's thinking, what, that's odd. He's looking at his windscreen and he notices there's a slight crack in it.
Okay.
He thinks, I don't remember my windscreen getting cracked. When did my windscreen get cracked? When did that happen?
Oh, is he one of these people that gets really upset?
Well, he does get a bit upset.
Right.
That's what he does is he rings up his wife. He goes, hey, Mrs. Randev. He says, well, which is very formal of him, I suppose. He says, what's going on with my windscreen? There's a crack in the wind. What the heck is that all about?
Right. Nice guy. Nice.
Right. And Mrs. Randev says, well, I don't know what it's nothing to do with me. She says it wasn't me. And he said, well, it wasn't me either. He says, how did we get this crack in? Because he's quite proud of his car, you see. He's quite proud and he's perplexed and he's annoyed.
He has a flash car, does he?
Well, it's a sparkling white Tesla that has been his pride and joy.
God.
The kids love it. The wife loves it. They bought it in the middle of last year. They're really enjoying all its technological newfangledness, its big sort of iPad screen, its wizardry.
Yeah. Can I digress just for 1 second here?
Of course.
I have a lot of questions about people who love cars or trainers or things that have to go outside and get mucked about with the actual world at any given time. Right? Like you have trainers that you wear and then they get a bit scuffed and you freak out. Seems weird to me. Same with a car. I just think why not have your pride possessions be something that you don't, wear externally and can be. Anyway, there you go.
Have you seen Troy Hunt's new car? He's been tweeting about it and posting pictures.
Is he finally got his Tesla?
No. He refuses to buy an electric at the moment. He's just bought himself a McLaren, which I think in a bright canary yellow.
Wonderful.
I know.
That's beautiful. Well done him.
Well done him. Well done, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he loves his Tesla, Mr. Rajesh Randev.
Right.
And, but he's a bit annoyed about this crack on the screen. And then...
Must cost a fortune to fix, right?
Well, it'll cost a bit, won't it?
Yeah.
And then Rajesh gets a text message on his phone. And the text message is from an unknown number. And the message says, hello, Rajesh.
Uh-huh.
Do you drive a Tesla? ? It's spooky, isn't it?
Well,
so
the way you're saying it sounds pretty spooky. I think it's a yes/no question, right? Or fuck off, seems to me.
Well, no, actually, it's not a yes/no question because he doesn't reply it yes or no. What he does is he replies saying, who is this?
Ooh, question with a question. Ooh.
Exactly. That's the way to do it, isn't it?
Like it. Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah. Of course. Don't you?
I do, but I'm not sure everyone would. Would you? I can't do this.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he says, who's this? And then this mystery person says, I think you're driving the wrong car. And Rajesh pulls the car over to the side of the road. He gets out of the car and he takes a look at it. And he goes, this isn't my car.
Are you freaking kidding me? How much do Teslas cost? How much? A lot of money. A serious wedge of cash.
Not as much as Troy Hunt's McLaren, but yes, a lot.
And you can't tell if it's yours easily?
It's a white Tesla. I mean, it's like a Model T Ford, right? They're all come in black.
Yeah, but don't people
Teslas
hang little dice or, little cool things off the window?
You don't. No, Carol, you don't hang dice.
Put wooden beads down the back of the seat for a little massage? That's what I do.
One of those little Christmas tree air fresheners.
Yeah, no, I don't like those.
They're bad, aren't they?
They're so bad.
But no, he notices that the wheels, the alloy wheels, are different. He's like, hang on, those aren't mine.
And he was in a hurry, of course. He was in a hurry.
He was in a hurry. He's off to get the kids.
See, paying attention, because it's Vancouver.
And he notices that the EV charging cable is different from his. So it's got a different charging cable. And he thinks, this isn't my Tesla. So the question is, what do you do then?
Well, you asked the guy on the phone, do I have your Tesla?
Well, what Rajesh did was he said, well, I've still got to go and pick up the kids. So he got back in the car and started it up again, drove off and picked up his kids. Because you've got to get the kids from school. That's the most important thing.
Oh, I'm missing a very big question here. How was he able to start the other Tesla?
Exactly.
Yes, sorry, it took me a while.
Exactly.
Right.
How was he able to gain entry and then drive off in this other Tesla. He was driving around.
Oh, he's so rich, he just leaves it run the whole time. Just sits there waiting for him, purring.
He was driving around for an hour and a half. And later on, after he'd picked up the kids, after he'd taken them home, he met up with the man who texted him.
Right.
To sort things out and to swap cars, because it turned out their two cars had been next to each other, parked next to each other, because sometimes people like to do that, don't they?
I don't know.
Especially if they're a bit posy with a car.
No idea.
Yeah, some people do. Some people like to park their car next to the same kind of guy. It's like, oh, look, they're kind of twins. They like to do that. And what happened was this, not twins like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito, not that kind of twins, proper identical twins, almost. And this other guy who'd been left with Rajesh's car, he'd been able to find out how to call Rajesh because he'd peered in through the window and there'd been a document sat on the seat which included his name and phone number.
Ah.
So he thought, this other Tesla here, maybe it's this guy who's taken mine. So he texted him, said, I think you've got my car. So Rajesh had simply jumped into the wrong car. But you're absolutely right. How had he been able to gain access to it and then drive off and then stop and get out and then get back in and drive off again and pick up the kids, etc., etc., etc.?
Do they magically have the same key fob, the 1 in 10,000?
Well, the thing with Teslas is that you can control them with a smartphone app.
Right.
And so this is what a lot of Tesla owners do. I believe just having the smartphone with your app on your person can unlock the car, so you don't have to faff around and look for keys and things, which I always think is a bit weird anyway, relying upon a smartphone app. Because I don't know about you, but my phone runs out of battery at least once a day and I have to plug it in. Mm-hmm. And that would be rather inconvenient.
Yeah, but maybe you have a backup key as well, though. You know, maybe you have that in
if
the
you've
car.
got a backup key, just use your backup key all the time. Why would you ever use the smartphone? I don't understand it. But maybe Tesla owners can explain that one to me. I don't understand it. Now, so it's a bit of a mystery, and it sounds like...
You don't know the answer?
No.
Oh, for God's sake.
No, but Carole, listen.
It's like one of those podcasts where it's like, let's find out what happened to this 20-year-old murder. And it turns out, oh, well, we don't know. Turns out we're still looking. Thanks for listening.
I
love those, by the way.
So one theory is that the car which was taken could have been left in valet mode, not valet. Yeah. So you can leave your car in valet mode so someone else can park it for you if you're going to a swanky restaurant, for instance.
And take it off down the highway, super far away from your phone? No problems? Okay.
Well, it depends where the car park is, I suppose, doesn't it?
I suppose it does. And the school could have been around the block. He could have just walked there, possibly. We don't know. Okay.
You know. So Rajesh contacted Tesla and said, what on earth's going on here? You know, this is what's happened to me. Here's a little video where I'm, showing this happening, because he made a little video and things. But when he emailed Tesla, it's not that he didn't get a reply. He did get a reply. He got a bounce back.
Oh.
So when he emailed Tesla...
He had the right address. He had the right address.
Right. He got a bounce back saying that Tesla's email mailbox was full.
What?
And couldn't...
Do you know... Okay, I have two thoughts on that. One, OMG, things aren't going so well. But two, if my mailbox was full or whatever, I don't want a third party being told. I guess they have to, it's not their business. Why doesn't it just say not delivered? For reasons, cannot deliver email. Done.
For reasons which are none of your business.
None of your beeswax. Right. Mr. Curious.
Maybe Tesla's IT team are currently doing a bit of work at Twitter because, of course, Twitter has reduced its staff somewhat. I don't know. Now, I thought maybe Rajesh has made a mistake. Maybe he's emailed the wrong address. Yeah. Well, then Canadian news outfit Global News, they tried contacting Tesla's press office as well. They got the same response.
As of Thursday, no one from Tesla had gotten back to him. And we didn't fare much better. Reaching out to their press office, we got the same response. Sorry, mailbox full.
So nobody has heard back from Tesla.
See, this is clever. See, they're faking this and they're just waiting for the big boys to get in touch, like the real big media, right? This is a whole campaign. I'm on to them.
I suppose it's a way of dealing with ransomware demands as well. If someone emails you blackmailing your company, you can just say, well, we
piss off.
Yeah, just, we're not here. La, 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 la. None of your beeswax.
Exactly.
Carole, what's your story for us this week?
Okay, you know that term, Graham? I don't know if I want to say it. Okay, I'll be a bit polite. It's called like the poo sandwich.
The shit baguette. Yes.
The shit baguette, right? You
Yes.
sandwich a complaint between two positive, doughy comments or bready comments.
Yes.
So just to explain it to our listeners, maybe I should give an example.
Give an example,
okay?
yeah.
So if I were to say, hey, Graham,
Hi.
you're really good at public speaking.
Oh, thank you very much.
One of the best I've heard in our circuit. One of the best. But don't you think it's time to park the crappy accents?
Oh,
You know?
yeah. The Italian. Yeah.
Yeah. Thing is, though, you're so good at public speaking, you don't need this old school crutch to deliver amazing content.
Ah, so you gave me 2 slices of bread there. Lovely bread, lovely carbs. And in the middle,
A sucker punch.
a little bit
Yeah.
derogatory about my ability and appropriateness of some of my accents.
Advice, perhaps.
Perhaps, but still hurtful to hear.
Guidance.
Yeah,
Yes,
maybe,
hurtful to hear.
maybe,
Hurtful to
maybe.
say. Hurtful to say. Let's think about me for a second.
Okay, all right, yes.
You want to tell me one? Just to make it fair, or?
I find it difficult to give you bread. I know you're trying to be low on
I
carbs.
love bread.
So,
I do love bread.
You do.
I do love bread. So I thought, this whole sandwich a la BS, right? I thought this is how I was going to present today's story on deepfakes.
oh, yeah.
Because before we get into the, sticky middle,
The meat of the, yes.
well, yeah, the hummus, gross. I think we have to say that deepfakes are pretty super crazy, realistic, and kind of incredible, really. Like there's potential for a lot of great things, despite all the not so great things that we hear about in the press, don't you think?
Yes, I mean, I remember one of my picks of the week from last year was a documentary about Jerry Anderson, where they had an audio interview
Yes.
with him, and they managed to deep fake it into becoming a camera interview with him, and it helped with the documentary. Being able to
Exactly.
do that. Yeah.
And like if someone was differently able to the point where interacting in the real world was difficult, this could be a super big lifeline. It'd be amazing.
If I had a big zit on the end of my nose and had to do some public speaking, then I might think, oh, if I could just rustle up a deep fake of myself saying these words.
And also, like, think of our career extension, Graham. Like, we could, maybe, at 80, if we're still around, knocking about, we could be doing this show sounding like and looking like we're in our prime, like we are
We could
now.
still be doing it at 120. We could carry on past our physical existence. Our ancestors could still benefit from all of this, whatever it is.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay, that was my slice of niceness, my first slice. Is that good? Can we get to the poo filling?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I feel good now. I feel good about deepfakes. Yeah.
Okay, but Christ almighty, what are we going to do with the idiots that are, testing this tech at the expense of actual people? Like, take student Taylor Klein, okay? So yesterday, Rolling Stone told a bit of her story, how Klein, a math whiz engineer student from an engineering family, she says she's someone who doesn't break the rules. She admires her mom's work ethic. Anyway, one day during her senior year of college, Klein receives a Facebook message from one of her buds. And it says, writes Rolling Stone, "I'm really sorry, but I think you need to see this." And thing is, she'd be getting weird Facebook messages from strangers. One even called her disgusting, right? So she's kind of baffled.
Right. Okay.
But this held the answer because her friend sends her a link to a Pornhub video. And
Ugh.
in it, she clicks and she sees a video of a woman who looks exactly like her having sex with a man. But of course, this never happened. It was just that her face was superimposed over another woman's face. And when she sees it, it already has like thousands of views.
Oh,
and she's thinking like, my parents, oh my God, my family, my friends, what are they going to
Do
think?
our parents often go to Pornhub?
But, you know, you think the word gets out in the street and town.
I suppose it could. I suppose people could be sharing the link saying, oh my God, have you seen what Taylor's been up to?
You have mouthy, you know, gossipy Sheila coming up when you're shopping for apples, you know, going, oh, I saw your daughter. I heard or something.
I once had, not as professional as a deepfake, but I once had people superimpose my head onto images of people committing acts of bestiality, and they were posted up on Facebook. Somebody didn't like me. And I thought,
why are you mentioning that?
Well, I'm just.
Do you want to bring it all back?
No, well, I don't know. I'm just.
I'm just people ideas.
Just giving an example.
Jeez.
Just giving an example of what can happen. Sorry,
I thought we were. Graham. I'm really sorry that happened to you. That's really.
I
shitty.
thought we were in the bad bit of the.
We are still in the bad stuff.
Yes,
yeah, it's a big filling.
Okay.
Where she didn't know who did this to her. That's the other thing. You're like, who? Right? So Taylor Klein decides to take action, calls the cops, and they say, look, we don't really know what we can do, but we'll look into it and we'll call you back. And a few weeks later, she finally gets that call. And the cop tells her that the tormentor was within his rights to do what they did. And there's nothing they can do given that there's no laws concerning non-consensual deep fake sexual abuse in her state, or what they're calling porn.
Really?
And it doesn't yet fall within the confines of non-consensual porn law. Like it's crazy, right?
It feels like threatening behaviour, though, to publish something. I mean, I am not a lawyer.
Like, don't we own our face? Do we really need to start getting documents when we're born, along with our birth certificate? Here's a copyright documents for your, facial features, voice, fingerprints.
If we all had barcodes on our foreheads, maybe it'd be easier to prove that it was our head. I don't know. But yeah, basically the law can't keep up with the technology, can it?
Yeah, I don't know. This is according to Cyber Civil Rights Initiative. Only 4 U.S. states have deep fake laws that aren't specific to political elections. The UK, EU, and China are looking into crackdowns, but can we get our skates on and sharpish?
It feels like the only way that she could get the police to take action is if she actually put herself up for a political election. If she was a political candidate, then she could claim, well, I am part of the political process and this deep fake is denigrating to my image. Then maybe they take action. Taylor
Klein, if you're listening, feel free, man. I think that's a good idea if you're up for it.
Well, it's insane that the law isn't protecting the rest of us.
No. And it's like it could be someone doing it to humiliate a person, or it could be someone just doing it for shits and giggles, right? We're in that bit of the sandwich, fna.
Or for kinks.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But yeah, you're digitally devastating a person in doing this. Like, that's the risk. It's huge. Anyway, this story, Taylor Klein's story, has been featured in Another Body. This is a documentary that premiered at the recent SXSW. But before I wrap up, we, of course, need another lovely piece of gorgeous bread.
Please.
Right? To help the filling go down. And I have it. Denmark Tourism Board to the rescue. And what I would call maybe, and Graham, I think you'll agree, a PR coup de grace. We've come up with a few in our time, haven't we? They put out a mini video campaign that focuses on their art collection. And it is one of the first to simultaneously use both deepfake and motion synthesis with an AI-generated script. Do you want to see it?
Okay. Oh, so we've got a video of the Mona Lisa, and she's talking to us. Other famous pictures.
Listeners, link in the show notes, as always.
Portrait of Van Gogh.
It's kind of sweet. And I just think we should have more positive uses for deep fakes if they're coming at us thick and fast. Oh, and legislators, chop, chop.
Any company can say they're trustworthy, but with this week's sponsor, Drata, you can prove it. With over 14 frameworks, including SOC 2, GDPR, HIPAA, and ISO 27001, Drata gets you audit ready for crucial security standards needed to scale your business. Automated controls, over 75 integrations and 24-hour monitoring keeps your company in compliance without manual work. And with a new open API and plenty of customization, you can build your program your way. With over 360 5-star reviews, Drata is the highest rated cloud compliance platform on G2. Countless security professionals from companies like Notion, Lemonade and Bamboo HR have shared how crucial it's been to have Drata as their trusted compliance partner. So, listeners of Smashing Security, you can get 10% off Drata and waived implementation fees at smashingsecurity.com/Drata. That's smashingsecurity.com/DRATA.
Our sponsor Kolide has some big news. If you're an Okta user, then you can get your entire fleet to 100% compliance. How? If a device isn't compliant, the user can't log into your cloud apps until they fix the problem. It's that simple. Kolide patches one of the major holes in Zero Trust architecture: device compliance. Without Kolide, IT struggles to solve basic problems like keeping everyone's OS and browser up to date. Insecure devices are logging into your company's apps, but there's nothing there to stop them. Kolide is the only device trust solution that enforces compliance as part of authentication, and it's built to work seamlessly with Okta. The moment Kolide's agents detect a problem, it alerts the user and gives them instructions to fix it. If they don't fix the problem within a set time, they're blocked. Kolide's method means fewer support tickets, less frustration, and most importantly, 100% fleet compliance. Want to learn more? Of course you do. Visit kolide.com/smashing. That's kolide.com/smashing. And thanks to Kolide for sponsoring the show.
Our friends at Bitwarden have been busy this month, adding some fab new features to their open source password management solution. Now, did you know that you can log into Bitwarden using a secondary device instead of your master password? Well, now you do. Logging in with a device is a passwordless approach to authentication. It removes the need to enter your master password by sending authentication requests to other devices you're currently logged into for approval. With Login for Device, it can be initiated on the Web Vault, browser extension, desktop app, mobile app, and you can approve access on your mobile and desktop app version of Bitwarden. Very, very cool. And the Bitwarden team has hardened the security of its vaults, protecting new vaults with 600,000 iterations by default. And of course, existing accounts can also update themselves to the same level. These and many other great security features are incorporated all the time into Bitwarden, keeping your password secure from hackers. Learn more, try Bitwarden for yourself at bitwarden.com/smashing. That's bitwarden.com/smashing. And welcome back. And you join us at our favourite part of the show, the part of the show that we like to call Pick of the Week.
Pick of the week. Pick of the week.
Pick of the Week is the part of the show where everyone chooses something like could be a funny story, a book that they've read, a TV show, a movie, a record, a podcast, a website, or an app, whatever they like. Doesn't have to be security related necessarily.
Better not be.
Well, my pick of the week this week is not security related.
Excellent.
My partner the other day said, "Oh, I saw this great movie when I was 5 years old. And maybe you'd like it." I said, "What movie you liked when you were 5 years old? Do you think I'd like it?" She said, "Yeah, it's brilliant. It's called Sholay."
Sholay.
Sholay. I'd never heard of Sholay. Apparently, if you are Indian, you not only know about Sholay, you've probably seen Sholay about 58 times.
It's like the movie that plays every Christmas or every holiday.
There may even be movie theatres in India which are still playing Sholay on a regular basis because it appears to be an institution. It's like Star Wars. It's like The Sound of Music. And let me tell you about Sholay. The plot is there's a retired policeman played by Sanjeev Kumar. He hires two small-time but lovable crooks, Viru, played by Dharmendra, and Jay, played by Mr. B himself, the big one, Amitabh Bachchan. his career in Bollywood really started with this movie. This is what made him a star. Their mission is to capture the bandit Gabbar Singh. Now, this movie is in Hindi, okay? So you need to get the subtitles.
Okay.
I tried watching it without subtitles. Doesn't work.
Well, unless you speak Hindi.
Unless you speak Hindi.
Right. Okay.
It is effectively a Bollywood Western. So think The Magnificent Seven, but not as tedious. And there are great music, songs, action, romance, some broad comedy, some of which, in the early part of the movie, I think isn't very funny. And I thought, I'm not so sure about this. Now, it's a long movie. It's about 3 hours long.
3 hours, eh? Wow.
And there's an intermission. Now, the first time I watched it, I did fall asleep in the first half.
Oh, Kel Surprise. You fall asleep watching a television show that's 22 minutes long.
Yeah. So my partner at the intermission explained what had been going on. And I was then enthused enough to stay awake for the second half. And having seen the second half and loved it, I then went back and watched the first half again, but this time awake. So I think it's a great movie. Utterly charming, extremely entertaining.
And if you have 3 hours to kill, right?
It will fly past.
Yeah, especially if you have a nap in the middle.
But do try and get a version which has English subtitles if you need English subtitles. I found it rather hard to track one down. Eventually, I watched it on YouTube Movies, but it doesn't have subtitles on the songs. And the songs are really good. It's got a great soundtrack as well. The songs are terrific, but you may have to look them up like I did on Google to find out what the words are in English to understand what's going on. As I said, if you're Indian, you know Sholay, but the rest of the world needs to check out Sholay. I found it immensely enjoyable. I'm including in the show notes a link to where you can watch the trailer, but also a review of Sholay, which will give you a feel for it. But immensely entertaining. And that is my pick of the week.
It's really fun when we can just choose from any old time period, isn't it?
Yes.
Even 1975. Yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. Are you a fan of any Bollywood movies, Carol?
Do you know, I've watched Bollywood films because I used to travel Air India from Canada to England a long time ago. And I used to watch them there a lot. But I don't know anything about it. I don't,
I'm going to check out some more. I genuinely found this incredibly entertaining.
Well,
great
good.
fun.
There's a huge, there's the second biggest movie house in the world, I think, India. So you've got,
There we go.
It's all cut out for you.
Yeah. Crow, what's your pick of the week?
Well, I'm kind of hoping that you have not heard about this because I can take full credit for crowbarring this into your echo chamber.
I could try it.
So for my pick of the week, I have to start with a question. Have you come across a person named Brad Mehldau, a musician called Brad Mehldau?
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay, good. For me. So he's a Grammy Award winning, jazz pianist. And a few months ago, he put out an album that I heard about. And then I thought immediately, this is one for Graham.
Okay.
So I went and did a bit of recon, and I think it has my stamp of approval for you. I'm going to tell you the name of the album, and you're going to go, you'll maybe guess what he's done. Okay. Right? So he's a jazz pianist. The name of the album is called Your Mother Should Know.
Well, Your Mother Shall Know is a 1967 song by the Beatles from the Magical Mystery EP.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in this album, he interprets songs by the Beatles.
Lovely.
Yes. Do you want to hear?
Why not?
Okay. Because it's good. Okay. This is him playing for NPR on Fresh Air.
Good tune.
I listened to an extended interview on Fresh Air, which I'll recommend and put into the show notes as well. But he says there what he loved best about this was trying to bring the whole instrumentation to the piano.
Because this is I Am the Walrus he's playing, which is an incredible piece of music by the Beatles.
And complicated. Beautiful.
Very complicated, very strange piece of music by John Lennon. And quite interesting to hear that on just a piano, I think. And that's fantastic. I like the sound of this.
I thought you would.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a cute way because I dabble in a bit of jazz, and I just thought it was a cute way for our worlds, to intersect. Ain't that a
Lovely.
beautiful thing? So my pick of the week is Brad Meldau's album, Your Mother Should Know, which came out, I think, in December.
I'll check it out. Thanks very much.
You're very welcome.
Well, that just about wraps up the show for this week. You can follow us on Twitter at SmashInSecurity, no G, Twitter and last a G. We also have a Mastodon account. Find it at smashinsecurity.com/Mastodon. That's the easiest way to get there. And check out Smashing Security on Reddit as well. And don't forget to ensure you never miss another episode, follow Smashing Security in your favourite podcast app. For instance, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Overcast.
Don't you think it's a bit like saying using a search engine such as Google, Bing, and... Massive shout out to this episode's sponsors, Drata, Collide, and Bitwarden, and of course to our wonderful Patreon community. It's thanks to them all that this show is free. For episode show notes, sponsorship info, guest list, and the entire back catalogue of more than 312 episodes, check out check out smashingsecurity.com.
Until next time, cheerio, bye-bye.
Smashing.
See you later.
Cool album. I think you'll like it.
Yeah, I don't like the song Your Mother Should Know. I think that's a really weak song with the Beatles, but the rest of them...
Well, I'll tell you what he does. He does I'm the Walrus, Your Mother Should Know, I Saw Her Standing There, okay?
Yeah.
For No One.
Yes.
Baby is Black, She Said, Here, Ooh. There, and Everywhere. If I Needed Someone, Maxwell's Silver Hammer, Golden Slumbers, and Life on Mars.
Oh, which is a Bowie song. That one snuck in.
I don't know. It has a question mark at the end, so I don't know. I haven't heard that.
Is there life on Mars?
Yeah.
Terrific. Oh, I'll check it out. That's excellent. I Am the Walrus. Yeah, I'll definitely check that one out. That's good.
Cool. Okay, good. I will slam this in tonight. I'm out.
Yep.
But I'll do
no
it
worries.
tomorrow.
Have fun.
Bye.
Bye.